Welcome to this SaferAfrica e-learning module. My name is Babette de Wilde and I work for VIA's Institute in Brussels. We're now in the fourth session of the post-crash care module and I will be your guide through this session. Today we are going to take a closer look at the post-crash care response. As you might know, we've already given you a global vision on post-crash care. Today, we are going to take a closer look at the post-crash response approach. What do we mean with post-crash response? Post-crash response is the act to support those affected by road traffic crashes. As we saw in the post-crash response, survivors and families affected by road traffic crashes have a range of physical and physiological as well as legal needs. In order to provide overarching care, we must support victims in all aspects of their life. Care consists not only the practical actions and the provisions of care, but also the facilitation of care through legislation and supporting initiatives. We divided the topic into legal support and the personal approach of the topics. Let's start with the legal aspects of enabling care, which are crash investigation and the legal process. To start, there must be a legal framework that obliges care after a car accident. This containing, first of all, laws that ensure access to care without regard to ability to pay. Everyone who has had an emergency has the right to be helped. Second, there are the laws that protect those who offer help, the Good Samaritan laws. As we mentioned in the previous session, the first hour or even the first 10 minutes are very important to offer first aid. Most of the time, the aid in this range will be given by the bystanders. A Good Samaritan law allowing bystanders to offer aid in medical emergencies without fear of legal consequences. The Emirates Medical Association did research on the rescuer protection law. This is aimed at boosting survival rates and encouraging the public to help in potentially life-threatening situations. When this kind of protection is not implemented by law, people choose not to learn cardiopulmonary resuscitation because they fear that they could be held responsible if those they help die. Traffic crash investigation is characterized by the following actions. 1. To gather evidence to successfully support prosecution of the law violation or violations that contributed to the crash. 2. To collect and learn all of the facts, circumstances and conditions involved in each crash. 3. To safeguard the property of anyone affected by the crash. 4. To protect the interests and the rights of those involved in the crash. 5. To gather the data necessary for traffic safety programs in the areas of engineering, education and other users of the highway from the hazards created by the crash or those contributing to the crash. 6. To determine the cause or causes of the collision. When someone violates a traffic rule, one must also be punished for this. It is important that this is done in an honest and humane way, and the following basic principles of process and proof are met. Principles in obtaining a guilty verdict on offenses related to traffic crashes are the law that defines the offense, the fact that you are innocent until proven guilty, and that proof entirely depends on evidence. A practical example of the implementation of legal support is the review that the European Federation of Road Traffic Victims and Road Peace have published in the UN Decade of Action for Road Safety to raise awareness for issues of justice for those affected by road traffic crashes. This comprehensive briefing provided a review of the following areas: collusion investigation, criminal prosecution, civil compensation, victims' rights. Road Peace is one of the members of the European Federation of Road Traffic Victims. This organization has initiated a campaign to improve the quality of crash investigation, which includes calls for national standards and regular reviews of investigation, nationally accredited training programs, better resourcing of police, transparency with regard to investigation outcomes, budget, and procedures, better procedures to keep victims informed and incorporate lessons from their experiences. We've given you a brief explanation of the options and legal support. Now let's start with a personalized approach of support. Health insurance is attracting more and more attention in low and middle-income countries. This as means for improving healthcare utilization and protecting households against impoverishment by out-of-pocket expenditures. The health financing mechanism was developed to counteract the detrimental effects of user fees introduced in the 80s. Which now appear to inhibit healthcare utilization, particularly for marginalized population, and can sometimes lead to catastrophic health expenditures. In Kenya, where nearly 96% of the total population is uninsured, the burden of out-of-pocket healthcare spending among low-income groups is huge. These costs keep people poor and often push people that are working their way out of poverty back below the poverty line. Yawabu Microhealth is a micro-health insurance company serving Kenya's youth, or those working in the country's informal sector. There is no other affordable micro-insurance product in Kenya. Yawabu offers both inpatient coverage for low-income customers and a medical savings account for outpatient expenses. Medical savings accounts can be shared with customers' extended families, beyond spouses, children, and relatives. The World Health Organization considers health insurance a promising means for achieving universal healthcare coverage. With South Africa's high accident and car theft rate, you cannot afford to drive an uninsured vehicle. According to the South African Insurance Association, about 65% of South African motorists are not insured. In South Africa, vehicle insurance can be quite expensive, with insurance policies having strict conditions as a result of the high risk of criminal activity and unlicensed road usage. When you just want to know more about car insurance and road safety in South Africa, Arrive Alive will provide this to you. Arrive Alive is a website to develop an effective road safety information portal that will enhance awareness of road safety and save lives. Arrive Alive shared advice from experts on car insurance, accident scene safety, collision investigation, information on vehicle telematics and crash analysis, etc. So we've reached the end of the module. It is important to think about a few keywords that have been given a meaning through the session. Reflect for yourself how these concepts come into play on the road according to you and which words are missing according to you. First of all, we said Samaritan laws. These protect bystanders and all people that want to help. Next, protect both the victim and the perpetrator. Pay attention to the laws that ensure adequate crash investigation, as well as the laws that ensure a fair and humane legal process. Clear the benefit of insurance. Health insurance is a promising means for achieving universal health care coverage. Well, thank you all for your attention to this quite short e-learning module. You can download a PDF of this presentation from the website. And you can also download a PDF with references and further readings on the subject. The next session will be on side components of post-crash response.